So I'll go through the introduction in a little bit. First and foremost, we have our young and bright youth committee member, Tayyib Ali, who's going to get us started with a Quran recitation. And after that, I will just give you a little brief, how do I put it, justification for why youth committee is needed. And then we'll have Aman Haq, our coach, our chairperson, going through the details of the youth committee. Okay, so Brother Tayyib, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا ماكثين فيه أبدا وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا ما لهم به من علم ولا لآبائهم كبرت كلمة تخرج من أفواههم إن يقولون إلا كذبا فلعلك باخع نفسك على آثارهم إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث أسفا إنا جعلنا ما على الأرض زينة لها لنبلوهم أيهم أحسن عملا وإنا لجاعلون ما عليها صعيدا جرزا أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا فضربنا على آذانهم في الكهف سنين عددا ثم بعثناهم لنعلم أي الحزبين أحصى لما لبثوا أمدا نحن نقص عليك نبأهم بالحق إنهم فتية آمنوا بربهم وزدناهم هدى صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair Tayyib. So, first of all, thank you for being here. So, this community, AMCO, has done wonderful things. We know that, right? It's been serving this community. There's plenty of dinners and talks you have been to. This might be slightly different. What we don't have is a qualified speaker talking about a subject. What you're going to see is a bunch of unprofessionals who are putting a program together. So you're going to see some statistics from me. I had the honor to talk to Brother Jamil during an Eid Salah, the Eid al-Fitr Salah, and just toyed with the idea that our youth needs to be more engaged. And Brother Jamil just jumped on it, and we formed this youth committee. And really, I think, as we think more and more about our youth and youth engagement, there are statistics that are scary, just to say it plainly. I'm going to share some of those with you. Please don't shoot the messenger if you don't agree with it. Just listen to the message, listen to the statistics, and let's focus more on the solution rather than the numbers themselves. But I'll share with you some data that is done by American researchers, and it will just give you a glimpse of why we are here today and why this youth committee is needed. Okay? By the way, my name is Nauman Khan, if you don't know me. I have been part of your community for past 7 years. If you see an event and there's some food in an organization behind it, generally, if something not going wrong, it's probably my fault. So, okay, so I'll start here, and really, to cut to the chase, it's my opinion, but also a lot of research shows that at the end of the day, crux of the problem with American youth, with youth in general, but American youth in particular, is the sense of belonging. And once you have it, that leads to healthy development of our youth, of our young adults, of our adolescents, the kids. And if you don't have it, that's where the biggest problem comes in. And that sense of belonging leads to marginalization and exclusion for these youth. And sometimes those things lead to what I call minor problems, which is addiction to the screens, you name it, or the video games. And by default, nothing wrong with this, right? But minor problems lead to some sort of addiction to something, and these days, screens is the biggest addiction. But the bigger problems really lead to alienation, identity crisis, and some significant psychological effects. And at the end of the day, when you look at the big problems, take away some of the small problems, some of the big problems, it's youth leaving the religion, dare I say, and the scariest thing is that they are committing suicide. And I never could believe that. And I think as parents, so my wife is here, we have 3 teenagers, and as parents, if we're not thinking about that, we should be thinking about it. I just want to say it out loud, and every one of us want to say that that's not our kids, right? That's the natural way of saying it. That's not our kids. Sir? Oh, sure. That's not our kids. That's not our community, right? That's not that's not the people in my masjid. I think we need to, if it's one person, one kid in our community, then it's our kid. And I think we need to remember it that way. You may not agree with every statistics I'm going to share with you, which is fine. I didn't make those up, right? I just researched it, right? Nothing more than Google and ChatGPT, right? So, but at the end of the day, it's not necessarily the statistics itself that matters. It's the fact that we are here to protect our youth and give them the opportunity, and what can we do about that? So let's just go into a little bit of that. Muslim leaving religion in the US. Okay, so we hear everything about Islam is the fastest growing religion in the US, right? We hear all about it, right? But if you break it down, the scary part is that 1 in 4 adults who were raised as Muslims no longer associate with Islam. But Islam is still the fastest growing religion. Can anybody guess why? It's not a trick question. Islam is the fastest growing religion because of migration and birth rate. People leaving our religion, unfortunately, is also the fastest. There are less people leaving Christianity and Judaism right now than Islam. And that is a scary, scary thought. The other bigger scary thought, not a thought, the statistics, is that 66% of those who leave Islam leave it before the age of 24. Now again, we can go back and see that's not our community, but that's America. And we are a representation of that, one way or another. So just remember that. Again, I'm not trying to scare anyone. It's just something as a backdrop of why we are here and what should we do. Secondly, now, as a parent, this is the scariest thing you'll ever see, right? Again, not my kid. But remember, I am willing to bet, if I ask the question anecdotally, do you know somebody whose kid committed a suicide? I think the answer probably going to be yes. We have heard of stories anecdotally all the time. Statistics are actually kind of scary. 8% of Muslims have attempted suicide in US, compared to national average of 4.1. Muslim youth, now that 15%, I'm not 100% sure if that's the 100% accurate number, but it is high. 15% of Muslim youth have attempted a suicide compared to 9% for national average. So sense of belonging, isolation, disengagement, all of that is at the crux of this problem. The importance of youth engagement, at the end of the day, every parent has to do what they have to do in their households. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Neither should I ever. That's not what we're here for, right? What we are here to talk about, what should our community do? And at the end of the day, we need to have youth engagement, one way or another. So statistics are simple. More youth engagement leads to better academic performance, 27% more likely to have higher GPAs, and 22% higher enrollment in colleges. You have 52% less likely to report depressive symptoms and less use of substance abuse. You all know what's going on in our high schools right now. And if you don't, just ask your teenager. It's a crisis, opioid epidemic in the US, especially in neighborhoods like ours. And one way or another, our kids are exposed to it, and they may not tell you, some of them do get involved in this. Primarily depression, disengagement, sense of belonging. All of that plays a role in that. So youth engagement is also one of the key way to tackle opioid epidemic. And there are things we don't say in the masjid, but all the other issues that come with the youth. And so these faith-based programs help us, increase their self-esteem. 40% of Muslim youth say that they feel isolated, excluded from the broader peer group. This masjid has to be the cornerstone for them to feel welcome. And if there's any reason they're not welcome, we need to look at that. I'm not saying they're not, but this masjid has to be able to welcome all of them, and not just the one with the right size of beard and who are saying the right thing and wearing the right clothes. Everyone should be welcome in this masjid. And it has to be an inclusive environment for everyone. Because if they're not coming here, you know where they're going. They have to be able to come to masjid one way or another. And if there's one thing this youth committee can do, if one thing, attract one more person to the masjid who hasn't stepped in. So basically, I think at the end of the day, this forming a youth committee is not a nice to have. It's essential for us to help them create this group, sense of belonging. Speaking selfishly, I have 3 kids, help them create better sense of belonging for them and all the kids like them, and for their mental health, and create that, supportive environment that promotes well-being and community cohesion. At the end of the day, these are our leaders. This group is these are the leaders of this community and this nation in general. And we have to protect them and give them all the opportunities to help flourish. I do have a bunch of links if you are interested for where I'm getting these numbers, the studies. There's the JAMA, one of the most recognized medical journal out there, the psychiatry division of it. ISPU, doing a great work in University of Chicago, and the Pew Research. They have done a lot of stuff on religious studies. So again, you don't have to agree with all the numbers, but you look at the direction where it's going. And as collectively, as a group and as community, I think we should tackle it. So I'll stop here. Any questions, please ask, and then I'll hand it over to Oman for the details of the youth committee. Can you please give them? Yeah. 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 Just give it to him. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Mhm. It's not on.
You know, from this research, if you see this thing under faith-based engagement, this is the key which you are stressing, that there is a need, and it shows it there. Right?
That's exactly right.
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying.
That's exactly right. Any questions, sister side? Comments? Okay. So, can I go back one slide? Yeah. Your husband has that presentation, by the way. Of course. Thank you for being here. Your support matters a lot. Without further ado, I want to introduce you to Aman Haq. He is our fearless leader, our chair for the youth committee. He's been doing a wonderful job. He's only 18, but the level of responsibility that he's taken on with this committee is phenomenal. And I just want to applaud all his efforts and the youth committee effort. May I just request them to come to the front and don't hide in the back? Bilal, Amina, please come to the front. Let people see who you are. Yeah, yeah. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, come on guys, don't be shy.
Come on, Haroon. Come on. No, come on. You look really good today.
Yeah,
MashaAllah.
yeah. Where's Amina? She's
Yeah, they'll come.
okay. Well, inshallah, they'll come and join us. So, Aman, I think I'll give you this. It's easier to you. Are you sure? Okay. Well, let's use that.
All right, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aman Haq. Thank you everyone for coming today. I won't take too much time. The food's already here. So, Brother Noman already set the ground for us to show us that the Muslim youth community, it needs a structure in the masjid. And inshallah, today I'm going to show us who we are, what we've done, and what we're planning to do. So that's exactly what I just said. So we're a youth-led team supported by our amazing mentor, Noman Khan, working to bring youth back to the masjid through service, leadership, and community. So, yeah. Yeah. So our vision is to empower Muslim youth to lead through faith, unity, and purpose through engaging, inclusive programs that strengthen their connection to the masjid, as you can see. So our core values are youth-led events, active engagement over lectures, so just dialogues over just lectures, back and forth, inclusive and welcoming spaces, leadership through service, a real impact and not just attendance. So I really want to highlight the part of the youth-led programs, which is simply just the youth like me and other people my age like Bilal are just leading the events as opposed to just anyone else. So we know what the youth really want and it's easier for us to get to them. So far what we've done so far, we started with action. We filled our community garden with soil and compost. We planted vegetable seedlings by hand, created maintenance and volunteer plans, began structuring youth events around leadership, responsibility, and community wellness. So the community garden was actually right behind our masjid. We took out the bad soil and we added new soil. The Prophet ﷺ said, if a Muslim plants a tree, it is charitable gift, sadaqah. So these are pictures of when we were taking out the bad soil, and it was a big community effort, alhamdulillah. Everyone came. I know a lot of adults came, and a lot of the youth also came out. So thank you to anyone who showed up for that. It was a lot of help. And alhamdulillah, the before was a lot of weed, and alhamdulillah, we were able to put like new soil, and this is how it was looking after we planted the plants. And alhamdulillah, as of Wednesday, now it's like flourishing. We have a lot of plants that are growing. We did this project back in late May, so alhamdulillah, it's doing really good week by week. And you guys are more than welcome to take a look and water the plants any time of the week. Our next project that we did was a toy drive for Rohingya refugees. So we organized a toy drive to support displaced children. All toys were collected, sorted, and delivered by youth, giving joy where it's most needed. The most beloved of people to Allah are those who bring the most benefit to others. So alhamdulillah, you guys might have seen the box as you're coming into the masjid that was filled with a lot of toys. And these are just some of the toys that were donated, alhamdulillah, which is a lot of games, a lot of basketballs, and this is just a little bit. I know we have more, but we didn't get the images for that, unfortunately. Our next event was actually led by Bilal over here. We had a community volleyball day last week. It was an open event with 3 nets, refreshments, and great vibes. Youth of all ages came to play, compete, and connect. But due to the very, very hot weather, that day was like 98 degrees. We didn't get a lot of people, but inshallah, we're planning to host future events indoor and outdoor. The strong believer is more beloved to Allah than the weak believer, though there is good in both. So these are some photos of the volleyball event that we held just in our backyard. We had 12 people in total from like ages 10 to 19. And alhamdulillah, it was a really fun event. It was really nice. It was just very, very hot. And then now for sisters events. So we had 2 sisters events in the past 2 weeks. And alhamdulillah, we had from tie-dye hijab to peaceful painting sessions. These events gave young sisters a space to create, connect, and reflect. During paint and snack, they discussed the beauty of Allah's creation, finding faith through art and sisterhood. Indeed, Allah is beautiful and loves beauty. So this is just an image of the first event, the tie-dye hijab event. And alhamdulillah, we had a handful of sisters that came to that. And then up next, we have the boys game night Mario Kart tournament. So it was just a casual night for just brothers, ages 10 through 18. Snacks, ping pong, and Mario Kart tournaments with real prizes. So the top 3 winners got gift cards, I'm sure. A space to bond, compete, and build brotherhood in a fun halal environment. The hand of Allah is with the group. So alhamdulillah, this photo doesn't do it justice because we had a lot of people that showed up, but they can only have 2 people play at a time. But alhamdulillah, we had a handful of young guys that showed up to play. So inshallah, moving forward, what we're planning to do is expand the community garden and actually have a harvest sale in a couple months when we're ready to pull out the plants. Me and Bilal want to also host more volleyball tournaments along with basketball tournaments or just open court basketball things, right? Same with volleyball. More dialogue workshops for high schoolers, and alhamdulillah now we're collaborating with MSAs to make sure that high schoolers are able to come to the masjid to really engage in these events. We also want to have more barbecue and service events. So just packing more food for refugees and really just having, everyone likes good food, right? It's having more barbecue, mentorship and leadership development, and volunteer opportunities. So inshallah, that's what we're planning to do moving forward. So this is how we stay connected. We're not just planning events, we're building an identity, a responsibility, and belonging. So youth grow into the leaders that our community needs because we're who's coming next. So inshallah, moving forward, please come and support our events. Join us, spread the word to your neighbors, to your family, to your friends from all over. And please, please, please give us feedback. If we're doing something wrong, just let us know. And finally, and whatever good you put forth for yourselves, you will find in Allah. Jazakallah khairan. Please support us. Please make dua for us and help us carry us forward together. Jazakallah.
Thanks, Aman. Jazakallah khair. So, a couple just comments here. One is that at the end of the day, these are teenagers, right? Just remember that. And in the process, we need to give them bandwidth. We need to give them space to do the projects, right? We can't dictate everything for them. We can't spell out everything for them. In the process, they're going to learn and make mistakes. And just need to have some room for them to make mistakes and learn from this and move on. So remember, these are teenagers. So that's one thing I would call it out. They have done an amazing job already this summer, right? We just started in May for all intensive purposes. So we are in our second month, or they are in their second month. I'm just here to talk to them. And second is that their vision is much bigger than this, what you just saw. It's way bigger. We want to build a full basketball court. We want to have the lights. We want to have the fans. We want to have professional courts and all that, right? These guys can really use that. We talked hard about bringing all that here, but for one reason or another, we said, okay, let's learn how to crawl before we walk and before we run, right? So all of that is coming in future. Inshallah, the funds will come in future also, or at least Brother Jamil agreed that he will bring the funds one way or another. But the point here is not that this is just a volleyball tournament or, gardening and whatnot, basically. All of these events should be a channel to bring more people to the masjid who otherwise wouldn't, right? And I understand that we want to do more and more religious events, as we should, and we already do, right? And people come to those, teenagers come to those, youth come to those. But I think there just needs to be magnitude of different events that attract more and more people to the masjid. And hopefully, if they're outside, some of them will come inside and pray with us. And that's the idea, right? Just engagement and connection. The point is to bring them to this property one way or another, whether it's through a barbecue, a volleyball tournament, or a religious talk. And that's hopefully what this does, create the connection, because I've told every single one of them, their job at the end of the day is bring not just the youth committee to this masjid, one more person to this masjid who otherwise wouldn't come to the masjid. And that's the main goal. That's the real job for this youth committee, to be a magnet for everybody else out there. There, mashallah, we are proud of them, right? Every parent, all of the parents are proud of their kids. We're proud of them. I'm not worried about them coming to the masjid. It's them becoming a magnet for others to come to the masjid. And I think that's what we want in this community.
All right, inshallah. It's 7:30 now, so now it's time for food.
Yeah, I think give them a few minutes to set up, and then inshallah we'll do the food, and then go into the Maghrib prayer.
Yeah, so inshallah, sister's side can get the food from over here, and then men's is right by the men's bathroom. And then, yeah.
Okay, and we do the tarp here, right? Yeah, well, we can do a tarp here for, there are tables outside, but for the rest, if you're not able to fit there, we'll do a tarp over here.
All right, Jazakallah khair. Thank you everyone for
Thank you
showing
everyone
up.
for
Please
coming.
enjoy the
Yeah.
food.